Good morning, everyone. So today we're gonna head up to the shop and check out my buddy Scott's LS swapped old body style step side. Did this swap, probably completed it a couple months ago, and he's been driving. It's got like 2,000 miles on it, he said, almost. So it's pretty well sorted, and we're gonna take a look at it today and go over it and, you know, show everything that we did. And actually got some door locks for the Le Mans I want to put in. So this is actually gonna be, so I rebuilt the carburetor. That had a heck of an issue with it, and then I actually got this. I know it's not the best looking, but it was pretty cheap. This exhaust off of Chevelle. The guy said it was off of Chevelle. So yeah, it's not the best. It's got some like turbo thrush mufflers, so it's definitely quiet, but it's not bad. Don't worry, I had it locked. So let's give her, she is dead cold, as you can see. We're gonna do, let's do one pump, just one pump. See how she acts. Okay, let's do two pumps. Cold, so it should come up and idle. She's warming up. It sounds pretty good. It's got a, sadly there's a header leak. One header's got a hole in it. That's why it's got a little bit of noise. But yeah, she's coming up on choke. Yeah, she'll come up. She'll come up to about 1,500, 1,800 RPM. Got good oil pressure, cold. And then I'll let it sit on choke for, you know, a minute or so. And then we'll be off. Gotta hit the Napa. Scott's truck's got a later Gen 4 intake, and the map sensor doesn't fit the best, so I have to change it over to that style map sensor. And in that style map sensor is a different connector. So grab a new connector, wire it in, and then like I said, we'll go over it. And his exhaust is a little rattly. I think his cheap eBay headers don't have the best sealing, so I'm gonna try to figure out a solution for that. Might try like a bang clamp style on it or something. But yeah, I will show you guys more when we get to the shop. So we're out in the truck. We just fixed the exhaust a little bit, and I'm just making sure the fuel trims, everything looks good. So she sounds good. We'll do a pull on the way back, or if it opens up here a little bit. But she's running good. We're gonna, I'll do a walk around of the whole truck, basically everything that we've done and touched, and I'll show everything. You can see all of the factory gauges. Everything works, which is a real nice touch.
Don't mind the brake light.
Yeah, the brake light, I don't know. I have no idea why the brake light doesn't.
Probably needs a vacuum canister or something like that. I don't know. But things got brakes, like the brakes work.
Yeah, the brakes work, and the fluid's full, and the e-brake's not on. So yeah, I haven't really looked into it too much. So sometimes it goes off, sometimes it comes on, but yeah. If you pull it down a gear, give her some. There we go. All right. Gotta slow down in Mexico, dude.
Yeah. Can't drive 55.
But she runs really good. So we're gonna do a turnaround over here in this open lot, and I'll go through the truck a little bit. Like I said, I'll show you everything that we've done to make this swap basically a daily driver. Scott drives this thing, he's basically every day.
1,700 miles.
He's done
since
1,700 miles since the
20th.
swap. Since when?
October 20th was the day we got it tagged.
Yeah. And this thing passed inspection, no problems. It's got long tube headers and everything. It's just great. So this older vehicle in Delaware needs to pass a sniffer test because this vehicle's not OBD2. So yeah. So I was able to get it to pass sniffer. And I mean, we didn't think it would have a problem because 94 was TBI and they didn't have the best, you know, emissions then anyway. So this computer is 10 years newer than that. So we're gonna make this turnaround and I'll start back up when we get to the spot. All right, made it to the spot. So Scott, you want to tell us a little bit about the truck?
Well, this was my first truck. I bought it in September of 05, so I've had it since then. Started life as a 350 60E OBS truck, 4-wheel drive, extended cab, short bed. You know, and I put 85,000 miles on it.
On the original engine?
On the original engine before it failed in 2011. Swapped that out of my mom's driveway. Never again. And then that engine lasted until 2019 when it failed at 58,000 miles on it. And after that, I was done with the small block life.
We convinced him to go LS.
Mikey actually found the dropout for me. It's up in Pennsylvania. I got the complete dropout for $700.
Back when LSs were a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Prices are crazy now.
So it's a 4.8 60E with whatever transfer case came in the 01 truck it came out of. But we didn't use that. We used the one that came original on this truck. And it just, you know, I couldn't say no to it. I got everything. Engine looked good. Trans was going through. So we ended up doing fresh gaskets, oil pump, timing chain, cam, lifters, all that stuff. Yes, I let the magic out of it, but whatever.
Oh, we didn't do any bearings or anything. We didn't. I mean, I did look at the bearings, but
bearings looked great. I was told it had 180K on it, which was probably pretty accurate.
Yeah.
But the thing runs like it makes 80 pounds of oil pressure when you start it up, something ridiculous like that. But yeah, it's nice and quiet. Doesn't burn any oil. Doesn't leak any oil. It's probably got twice the power the small block had on its best day. Like it's the daily driver. Like it's what I wanted. Turn the key, drive to California, change the oil, drive it home. Like it's great.
All right, let's take a look at her.
All right. What do you want to check out first?
I'll pop the hood.
So, I mean, nothing really much to it. The 4.8 just slid right down in there with the Dirty Dingo mounts we bought, and
kind of hard to say them.
Yeah.
So what we did was to keep costs down and to kind of make the swap easy is we bought Dirty Dingo has slider mounts, and we used the original original transfer case and bolted that up, and then worked our way forward, and then got the motor, you know, where we wanted, dropped it down. So it still runs the factory drive shafts, front and rear.
Factory cross member in the factory location. We didn't have to move any of that. I wanted this to be as simple as possible. I didn't want to have to make anything. I don't have time for that with what I do for a living. Like everything was just bought and ready to go. Yes, it added expense, but it saved me time on the backside. So,
yeah. And I mean, you know, we didn't really do too much. This is just that Scott added this steering shaft. That's just a nice upgrade.
Cuttingham machine. That's probably the best money I spent on the truck ever.
Just because factory, they're rag joints. I know down low is rag joint. I don't know about up top, but
and it was worn out with 270,000 miles on it. The original one was worn out, so it was worth it. Stock coils that came with the engine. We put 862 heads on it. New bolts, wires, everything. All the accessories are new.
Talk about performance. What do we got just performance wise?
It's got a 216 220 cam in it. It's a what they call a truck cam. It's probably not the most radical thing as far as LS cams go, but for a 4.8, it's probably the correct size. I mean, I probably could have gone a little bit bigger, but I have no regrets, none. It's what I wanted.
So we did that, and it's a low lift, so it's got
550 lift.
Yeah, so it's got the low, you know, valve springs don't have to be changed super regularly, nothing crazy. And
well,
then
the heads I found had valve springs in them because the heads that came off it had a couple broken studs, so it was just more economical for me to buy a clean set of heads than pay to have the studs removed. So, and
then after that we did, this is the newer style, basically 07 and up truck intake. They call it the Trailblazer SS / new body style, and it does look better than the other one, and usually you gain 20-30 horsepower with this intake over the other one. And then he topped it off with a nice War
throttle body.
It's actually a 102, and I had to massage the opening a little bit on the intake, but there's no drivability issues. Some people were always complaining that there's being such a large throttle body that you would have issues, and this thing drives like stock. It doesn't.
It's great.
There's no, it doesn't push the brakes or anything. And then for the intake, Scott wanted something a little bit different. He wanted more of a clean look, so that can like that box is out of.
Came from a 92 to 95 6.5 turbo diesel truck, and I still gotta find this coupler, which is proving rather elusive. But I mean, the stock truck math, and we just cobbled something together with what we had laying around, and it fits. I mean, yeah, it ain't the prettiest, but it fits. The only things left we really have to do to get the truck fully operational is wire in the AC and get the cruise control working. But I mean, it's February, so we don't need to worry about
don't need either of those
just right now. But other than that, like, everything's stock. Like, we used the Dirty Dingo R4 mounts, so I didn't have to buy any crazy AC lines or manifold lines or anything like that.
So you use the stock 94 truck lines.
Stock 94 truck compressor.
Yeah.
About the only thing I can't find at a parts store if I was on a road trip and something failed would be the serpentine belt, because it's just so long. It wouldn't be an item they would just have on their shelf.
Maybe we'll find one and throw it in the back.
Yeah, I'll have to order another one.
Yeah.
Or spare. But other than that,
like, this is the stock. This is a LS like truck upper hose.
Hoses, the upper lower hoses were from like an 05 Tahoe, when I just bought the billet, ICT billet thing for the steam ports, and we just, you know, routed it nice and clean away from everything. So,
and then it runs the stock clutch fan. We didn't. So there's actually an adapter you can buy to bring it a little bit closer. But I mean, this seems to prove this truck literally sits at 198 degrees all day, every day. It does not. We'll see how it does in the summer, but it has proven not to be an issue.
And yes, it does clear the coupler. It's close. I'm not gonna lie, but it clears. So,
but yeah.
But I mean, honestly, like, everything chassis wise, brakes, suspension, that's all stock.
And this truck's actually kind of rare. It has a 14-bolt semi-float
from the factory.
So it's a pretty beefy rear for, you know, which
has been rebuilt and upgraded. It's got an Eaton posi. I did AA gears, 373s, which is what the truck came with.
And it's snowing.
And it's snowing, which is cool. And Yukon axles. I mean, there's probably $2,000 in that axle alone. I mean, it's.
Yeah, she's pretty.
You probably can't see it with the spare tire in the way, but
I can get on there. She's pretty beefy. But I thought it was always interesting. This truck, you know, with a 180 horsepower small block, has one of the beefiest rears you can get.
So this truck was actually ordered and sold new at what now is New Car Chevrolet in Newcastle, Delaware.
Wow.
Wildest thing ever.
Yeah.
Wildest thing.
And it's had body work once, and it needed again. It needs it again, but she cleans up nice.
It didn't fare very well sitting for 3 years outside.
Yeah.
Like, it took.
With Scott's day job and everything, it took us a while to do the swap, and the body work didn't really hang in there. So
I mean, it's a pretty rare option truck. I mean, not rare, but I've never actually seen one with a 60/40 split bench.
Really?
With a power seat.
Oh.
And it's red or maroon or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's Mikey put a new stereo in it and got.
It's I mean, it's like I said, it's pretty nice. This is the factory. It's not. I mean, it's manual, but then the hubs are electronic, aren't they? Like,
It's got a thermal actuator in front diff.
Okay, that's what engages it. Yeah. So like that literally still works.
Yeah, everything works.
We have a new steering wheel. Haven't put that on yet.
I gotta put some new parts in the column, so I'm holding off on that.
Oh, okay. But I mean, like I said, I will. Literally every gauge. I took the time. I found the wiring diagrams. Every gauge works. Yeah, it's got a nice rumble to it. What did we do for a muffler?
It's a Borla XR1 3-inch, so it's 3-inch all the way from the collector back. And I wanted something different because I was tired of the dual outlet 90s out of the corners. So I went with a dual 4-inch Corsa tip, which is probably the right call. I mean, granted, it's filthy. I got to clean it big.
But no, she sounds good. Yeah, it's got a nice chop to it. You know, I mean, it's warmed up. We'll give it a rev. Like it sounds like a Camaro. But like everything's quiet under the hood. That factory light works.
Yeah, this one works too. This one works too. Where's the switch? I think that works. So
yeah, I shut it down. I don't even know. Let's see if it'll. I know sometimes the actuator. Of course, it's not gonna do it.
Probably gonna take a couple tries. But it works. We had it working.
I know it works. Of course it doesn't want to do it.
Drop it down in the drive. No. I might have to do the electronic conversion on the actuator.
She doesn't want to cooperate today.
Outwardly, since the truck was due for tires, I found a set of, I guess you could call them GMT 800 Premium 17s from the junkyard for $200.
Oh, the wheels, okay.
Yeah, the wheels. And I put knockoff BFGs on them from a local tire guy. So.
And it rides good. It's the exhaust isn't too bad, cruising. Yeah. Actually might have some room. Maybe we'll do it outside.
Okay.
Pull over but it's a really nice truck. Like this thing, like I said, Scott drives it every day and it doesn't have an issue. And if it does have an issue, he goes to the auto parts store and gets something, gets a plug wire, not a plug wire, but maybe like a coil from a 05, you know, Trailblazer, or not Trailblazer, Silverado. Just something really easy.
And the power steering lines are for 94 and the pump is for 2001, because pretty much all that stuff's interchangeable. So like I didn't have to do anything crazy with that. No special lines, no nothing. Like everything literally bolted together. And the long tubes are for a GMT 800 truck. And we did have to hammer them a little bit on one of the tubes on the driver's side.
I think for the front drive shaft.
But it might have been for the drive shaft or for frame. I can't remember.
Either or.
But they fit right in there. I used ARP bolts and good gaskets because the gaskets they didn't look very good. But for what I paid for them, I can't complain too much.
And then I believe it's a 255 we put in the tank.
Yes.
So being this was a TBI truck, it was fuel injected, so it uses the original tank, the original sending unit. All we did was replace the low pressure pump with a high pressure pump. And then down the frame,
it's got a Corvette
I don't know where it's at.
Regulator.
Oh, there it is. It's over there. It's got a Corvette. There we go. Yeah, you can see it. It's got a Corvette, like a LS1. Yeah. LS1 Corvette filter slash regulator.
So it's a returnless system. So it's got a single fuel feed line, and that's it.
Yeah. So the fuel will come out, hit that filter regulator, return what it doesn't need, and then sends the single line up to.
And that was also bought as kit form from
Hot
Rod Fuel Hose, which I can't complain about.
They sent literally everything we needed. They had
the pump, 30 feet of line, all the fittings, the regulator, everything.
Yeah, everything.
And it all came in one box.
And it was nice. That was a nice kit.
So, you want to talk about the harness?
Sure.
The harness, the engine harness, obviously because the TVI harness won't work with the LS. The harness came from PSI Conversions in New Jersey. Nice American, local. I believe they're in Tom's River. Ordered it, told them exactly what I was doing, what I was working with, what I wanted to do. They told me, originally they told me 2 to 3 weeks I would have it. I'm like, okay, cool. I had it in 72 hours. It was on my doorstep in 72 hours.
That's pretty good.
I can't speak to the quality, but the quality looks good. You wired it, you fired it, you did all that, so I guess you can take over from here.
Yeah. I mean, it's still, if you look back there, it still has some of the factory TBI harness because I wanted to keep it for the gauges and stuff. And I did have to drill an additional hole down low of the I think of the heater lines.
Yeah.
To get this is the LS harness, this one, and then that up there is the factory. So again, you'd have to add a hole. You can send them your original harness, but you have to send them. It's very integrated in these trucks, which I thought was always interesting. Like literally, the wiper motor is part of the engine harness. Yeah.
So everything under the hood is one harness. I believe they changed that in later years. Like the 95 was kind of like half 88 to 94 and half 96 to 99. So those trucks are kind of hard to swap. And then, of course, the Vortec trucks and 96 and up trucks are probably not quite as bad, but I don't have any experience with those. So, but yeah, the ECM's in the car, or the truck rather, behind the glove box.
So yeah, basically what I used is, I mean, he did lose his glove box.
No, it's still in there.
Is it?
Put it in there, yeah.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
Put it back in there.
But like, it comes down through here. Have to tuck that up a little more, and then there's also a fuse box that comes from PSI to run all of the LS stuff. And then I forgot I added it back there. The ECU lives back here, which is basically where the stock ECU lived anyway. And then I added the OBD2 port there.
I mean, you could probably make it look completely factory if you took the dash out, but
yeah, I tucked as much as I could and got it, you know, away.
That was labor that I didn't really want to get into. So,
but yeah, that's the basic overview of this truck. I mean, she's like really, basically just a really good runner. That's funny. I have my draggy, and I thought about bringing. It's dead. I checked it this morning.
No, it's fine. No big deal.
But yeah, let's we'll go to a spot. Scott will drop me off, and we'll do a drive away, and then he'll probably drive by.
Cool.
Oh, let's go.
Good.
She sounds pretty good. It's got a really good tone to it. I'll walk up a little bit. It's just basic long tubes, high flow cats, and the Borla XR1. And then he bought that nice Corsa tip. She sounds good. When he's cruising, you can definitely hear it. but she's pretty quiet normally. Like the tires are louder than that. Good truck. So there you have it. I know a lot of people have been asking about you know, do a video on that truck, and you had a nice couple hours. Had to fix the exhaust, so we fixed the exhaust for him, and I basically just want to double check the fuel trims and everything, make sure everything was happy, because we took it out last night, and with the exhaust leak the trims were pretty bad, but I didn't want to adjust them until we fixed the exhaust leak. And then we fixed the exhaust leak and everything's fine. So I had a feeling it was, but I just had to double check. I mean, it's basically running the stock 01 computer, if anybody had questions, and it's just tuned with HP tuners. It's running almost a factory style setup, like it's in dynamic mode, so it uses both speed density and the mass air sensor, exactly how it would in a factory truck. Like it's not speed density only, or it's not mass air only. I literally am using, you know, like I said, the factory strategy for the car, for the, you know, computer. I don't know if there's anything else. Yeah, if you have any questions or anything, I can definitely ask Scott. You know, if you put it in the comments, I can ask Scott about the truck, and then he can give you any answers. But I think for the best bang for the buck, like, it's a really good truck, and it was a little bit expensive because Scott being Scott, if you know him, he's kind of a snowball. Like, he'll do one thing and then he'll want to do like 10 other things while you're there, which makes sense, but it can become costly at that point. So we definitely could have went a cheaper route, but I think for what Scott spent, he got an incredible truck that's reliable, runs rings around the old 350. Like, it's probably, Scott's a double the horsepower. I think it's more than that. I think on a good day, that thing made maybe 120, 130 wheel horsepower. It's making almost 300, 330 wheel now. So it's got quite a bit more power than it did. And I've done some tune revisions to it, just really finally getting it just dialed in just enough, and it's really happy. Like I said, I wish I had my draggy charged, and I was just curious what it would do. Even if we did a 0 to 60 or something, it doesn't have to be a full quarter mile. And but yeah, the video is going to be kind of long because there's a lot of talking, but if you guys enjoyed it, I will definitely do more. Scott's truck was the first LS swap truck we've done. In the works, there's plenty more LS swapped vehicles that are in line to get done, and it just takes time. Like we're doing that Camaro. There's that 3rd gen. There is 2 4th gens. One's an original V6 car that is getting V8 powered, and then there's a Trans Am that was LS1 powered and blew up, and I mean, that's really just getting fixed and retuned. But yeah, if you guys liked the video, you know, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.